Hello, all you beautiful people. I am Lady Calamere. Welcome to my channel. I am going to be doing my 120th video, and it will be on the goddess Durga. So I got some statues out here, and this is a very big one. This is actually pretty huge. And that is brass. So Durga, who is she? She is perhaps the most popular, well-known goddess in Hinduism. I mean, in the West we know Kali, but definitely Durga. In fact, Durga is very well loved in India and Hinduism. So I'm going to be talking some of the differences between her Bengal image and her Indian image. So let's get to it. Who is Durga? Durga means inaccessible, and the word Durg means like fort, F-O-R-T. And she's very, like I said, she's very immensely popular and beloved. And she is a warrior goddess. And to tell the difference between her form from Bangladesh or from India is, let's look. If she's riding a tiger, that's her Bengali form. Okay? If she's riding a lion, that is her Indian, from India form. So now you know the difference. And of course, the animal denotes some differences. However, we see that she has total control of it. Total control. Durga is a warrior goddess, but she is not bloody like Kali is. Here we see a particularly fierce form of her, as well as here. And here we see more of a less fierce form, more approachable. Now, for women, Durga is more calm, she's more approachable, but for men, she's more fierce towards them. And I know that she's very loving to men too. However, she's more approachable by women, and she's more accessible to women. In fact, did you know that during Durga Puja, which is worship in the temples, that they cannot commence it unless they get dirt from a red light district? Did you know that? Or from where a bordello is, or where, of course, where prostitutes stand. And the reason is because with Durga, all women should have respect, and that the goddess Durga represents all women from all walks of life, from the birth of a baby girl to her death. Whether she is royalty or a peasant girl, whether she is a doctor, a nurse, a veterinarian technician, a dental hygienist, or a homemaker. She could be very rich or very poor. She could be very intelligent or she can not be, she can be dumb. You know, she could think the earth is flat. And she will still have, Durga will still represent her. Whether she is successful or a meth, crack addicted prostitute. Doesn't matter. That all women represent Devi, goddess. So that's the reason why. And she's a protector of women. She's a defender of women. Like Kali, she is a warrior, but she is more approachable than Kali, and she's not as wild and ferocious as Kali. And she does have a ferocious aspect, and very ferocious aspect. Several of them, you know. And one of the Nav Durga, I would say this one is the most ferocious. Kalaratri. Katyayani is also very ferocious, and Katyayani appears when the gods get angry at Mahiyasura, how he's getting away with everything, and how because of his boon no god can take him down. When they pull their anger and Shakti together, and out of that form, out of that brightness comes Katyayani, that as Durga's Katyayani. But Kalaratri is pretty freaking ferocious. She's wild. However, even we see here, she's wearing clothing and sari. So Durga is like somewhat domesticated and yet wild and free. She has one foot in the wilderness and one foot in civilization. She has one foot in wild abandon and one foot in law and order. Ding ding. I'm sorry, I'm such a nerd. So she is married to Shiva, yet her hair is unbound. Her husband is Shiva, yet her hair is unbound. Now, in traditional Hindu roles, a woman who's married is supposed to have her hair neatly combed and brushed and bound up. And the only time she's met when her hair was down is when she's having menstruation, when she's on her menstrual cycle. But we don't see any blood on Durga like we do with Kali. We can see some of that imagery with Kali. But there's also another meaning with her hair. So Durga is dressed in bridal finery, like as if she's ready to get wed, but she's not wedded yet. Her hair is down, suggesting and denoting freedom and wildness. She's sometimes depicted with 4 arms or many arms. Interesting to note that the 10 Mahavijas, which the most popular form is the Dasa Mahavijas, which we have Kali. We're going to do from first to last. Kali, Tara, Tripura Sundari, Bhuvaneshwari, Tripura Bharavi, Chinnamasta, Dhumavati, Bagalamukhi, Matangi, and Kamala, also Kamaladmika. Now, that's the most popular forms. However, some people remove Tripura Bharavi and replace her with Durga. Now, there's also the 18 Mahavijas, and in the 18, Durga is listed. So, but the most popular form is Tripura Bhairavi, which they say Tripura Bhairavi is actually Durga. But if you want to get technical, all goddesses, they say, are one goddess, where when Parvati gets angry, she could become Durga or Kali. When Durga gets very angry, she is either said to become Kali, or she, with her third eye, shoots out a beam, in which becomes Kali. When she is a demon killer. She kills and destroys the Asura. Now, Durga is very beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous and tempting. But unlike goddesses like Aphrodite and Inanna, she doesn't use her beauty to tempt for sex or for lovemaking or for courting. She uses her beauty to ensnare, to trap, to subdue, to subjugate, kill, and destroy. She is the perfect assassin. You ever see those movies where the woman, like Nikita, she's very beautiful, very feminine in every way, but every much a dangerous killer, where she can use her feminine wiles to draw in her prey and kill them. And she, like Durga depends on what she does and what she needs. She can play with her victim like a cat. You ever see a cat play with a lizard or a mouse, where they don't necessarily kill it right away, but a cat just throws the mouse in the air, bats it in the air, and bats it off a wall, and, you know, drag it around and rip it apart, and then finally kill it? Durga does that. But sometimes she'll go right in for the kill when she's not playing. She's like, no, I'm not playing. All bets are off. And if she can't, for some reason, doesn't do it because she needs to get real bloody, she knits her eyes together, and out of her third eye shoots Kali, in which Kali is, in this case, very ferocious, very wild, and is not afraid to be naked and covered in blood. To be totally covered and gobble blood. And here we see a pretty wild aspect of Durga. I really like this one, where she's a complete warrior. And we see the goddess in this aspect taking on a role, not just of Shakti, but as a role of a warrior god. Which I see Durga as a weapon. I see her also like a tank, where she just runs things over and just blasts, and just blasts her way through things. I always see her as the tank. She is the unconquerable one. She removes ignorance. She's invincible. And she's the one who eliminates her suffering. She can help us if we're being attacked, whether literally or figuratively attacked. She helps us eliminate actual evil spirits and our personal bugaboos, or our personal demons. But not only that, she could be very loving. And she could fill our lives with joy and passion and faith. She is the power of strength. And I was just thinking of that album, the new album, the only album by Unto Others, called Strength. And I was just, I don't know, it just moved me to really do something on Durga. And sorry, I'm a metalhead, so what do you want? Durga could be quite frightening. Don't let her appearances fool you. She'd be quite frightening. Durga, she protects defensively, and she will go on the offensive as well. So when we look at the name Durg in Sanskrit, it's a fort, which is also a place that is difficult to overrun, which has barricades and defenses. That's what she is. And where did she get that name from? Well, she conquered a demon named Durga. Yes, she conquered an asura named Durga, and she took the name Durga, Durga Ma. Durga says she will always come back when she is needed. Now, if we look at her three eyes, her left eye is the moon. It represents receptivity, desire, passion. Her right eye is symbolized by the sun, which represents heat, action. It represents power. Her middle eye is symbolized by fire, the psychic power, knowledge. Like Shiva, she can send out destructive forces out of her third eye, as we see Kali. When she needs to, she can replicate herself in the battle by just making sighs. And she can make hundreds, if not thousands, of Shaktis to help her. And with just breathing in, she could breathe them all in at one time. So, Durga rides her tiger. When it's the tiger, it's a fearsome creature. It's a fearsome predator that she uses to rip apart her enemies. It's a fearsome beast. And it represents determination, strength, will, and power. So the tiger in Bengali is very feared, and there were many, even today, there are people that get attacked by tigers. So that's why you'll see people wearing a human mask in the back of their head when they're out in the jungle. That's because a tiger uh, likes to do the sneak attack. And if they think that you're looking at them, they may not attack. Now, when she sits, so the tiger is unlimited power. And that suggests that Durga herself has unlimited power, that she can control this power. The lion, now in India, the lion, of course, we see it's a fire symbol. It's also, as you know, the animal of Leo and the sun. But it also has we go deeper. Let's look deeper. It represents our animalistic, uncontrolled desires and tendencies, such as we look at selfishness, arrogance, jealousy, desire. And her sitting on the lion controls it, as we should be sitting on our own lion to control and have mastery over herself. So when she rides a lion, it suggests that she has control and mastery, complete mastery of all desires. But she still uses the lion, who is the king of the jungle, the king of beasts, to rip apart, again, her enemies. So let me show you some books that I suggest that you should get. This is a great book. Durga. Parma Shakti Mahashvari Mahadevi by Chitralekha Singh and Prem Nath. Do get this. This is you can get the English version. As you can see, it's well worn, and it's really good. Okay. Now, if you want to work with Durga, and I'm trying to pull it out, there is a book. I'm going to put it there. By Bal Kadmun. Durga Mantra Magic. He gives you some information, mantras, and he teaches you how to work with each of the Nav Durgas, which we'll get into that, and how to approach them. So this is actually a book where you can work with different magical techniques to work with the goddess Durga. So let's look at that book again. You can get it on a Kindle condition. You can get it at Amazon as Kindle, or you can get it in hard copy. I have it as Kindle. So, another one. What do I have here? Here we go. It's right underneath me. The 10 Articles of Sri Durga. Insights and Meditations by Baba G. Bob Kindler. Baba G. Bob Kindler. You can get this on Amazon or eBay. So those are the 3 books I really recommend. I recommend those 3 books on the goddess Durga. So Durga's main color is red. Durga's main color is red. Her flowers, definitely lotus flowers, hibiscus, lotus, hibiscus, and I'm trying to think of the other flower. I don't know where my cats are. Where are my helpers? So, and also, yeah, I think marigolds too. The next thing that's next to a lotus is roses. So you can give her some red roses. She is very fiery. She is extremely fiery. She is unconquerable. I'll be right back. My cat just has something in his mouth, and I don't like what he has. Nope. Give that to me. Give it to me now. Nope. Get over here. Give it to me. Oh my God, get over here, you little poo-poo. Bad boy. Thank you. I don't know how he got it, but he got my, those hair ties, you know, and talk about the rubber bands for the hair. Those are not good for cats to play with, because they can eat it. So sorry, that was a matter of importance. And kitties come first. So she has many weapons that were given to her by the gods. There are different I'll put in quotations, births of Durga. She is said to also be the daughter of the Himalayas. She is, for some of her epithets, we can say that she is the virgin power, the unapproachable, the calmly invincible. She's also known as the dangerous one. She is a protector of Dharma. Anything with a DH in Sanskrit is a quick th. Not like the man, like the, but the. I know, it's just. So it wouldn't be pronounced Dharma, but Dharma. She's also known as she whose beauty is unchanging. She is serene and beautiful countenance at all times. Even when she is called the dangerous one. And that's one of her epithets, is the dangerous one. She is a protector of the just and victorious in war. Some of her planetary powers is I would definitely say Mars. But sometimes the sun, because of the lion and because of her brilliant light. But she's also very martial. In fact, she is the patroness of all warriors, soldiers, and armed forces, whether they're Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard. She also deals, like I said, with wartime. So she can be used by our men and women in armed forces to help guide them, protect them, and keep them safe and bring them home. Bring them home, safe and sound. So she can be used in prayers to protect the military. So the military people of your country, she could be used to protect them. She is not just a warrior, she's a general. But she is the general that goes out in battle. Because we see her making soldiers, women soldiers, all women. And you notice how all the warriors she brings onto the field are women, not men, women. And she defeats the masculine. This is why she's also going to be considered a Mahavija. Because if she's seen with any male, she's seen huger, larger than life, or she's subjugating her enemies. Here we see her subjugating Mahasura, when he changed forms. And they said, why do they have a buffalo there? Why is she killing an animal? That's actually an Asura that changed his form into a buffalo. And I tried to explain so on to this. And he said, oh, the only evil people are people. And I was trying to explain that this Asura kept on shape-shifting from man to elephant back to by a buffalo, in which she finally chopped his head off. As you see, she's one foot and one butt right here, and the foot on her head. Where she's victorious. But generally, in the 10 Mahavijas, they mention more Tripura Bhairavi, which means the terror of the 3 worlds. And if you want to know more about some of the Mahavijas, I did a presentation on Tripura Bhairavi, Bagalamukhi. I did one on Kali. I did one on Tripura Sundari, one on Dhumavati, another one on Matangi, and I did one on Chinnamasta. So I have a few more left to do. I still have to do Tara. I did Tibetan Tara. I did a black Tara and white Tara. So I got to do the Mahavija Tara. I have to do Bhuvaneshwari, and I have to do one on Kamala. So her times are in autumn, but it was originally spring. But when Rama needed her help, he didn't wait for spring. He was in autumn when he needed her help. And there's a story when he needed to defeat the demon Ravana and get his wife back, Sita, from him. And he called upon the Durga, and Durga said she would help him if he gets a certain amount of lotuses. And he did. But she came and took one of the lotuses away. And he counted all the lotuses, and he was upset. So he said that he cannot do the puja unless he does a substitute. And he told the goddess he was going to pluck out his eye for her to replace that lotus. And she came to him and she said, Rama, I am impressed. I'm the one who took the lotus away. And because of your devotion and your faith in me, I'm going to help you now. You will be victorious. And she told him exactly what to do. That to have a puja and invite, the enemy from, Ravana, and that they were supposed to be the priest of the feast, and that he was going to ask anything you want and he'd be granted. And of course he asked for victory on his campaign, what he was going to do. And of course he was victorious. because of the puja. So that's why we have the Nav. That's one of the reasons why the Nav Durga is, or Durga Puja is in autumn, but also because of the Nav Durgas, and the Nav Durgas means 9 Durgas. Nav means new as well as 9, but in this case we mean 9. And here are the pictures of the 9 Durgas, the 9 aspects that she took to destroy the demons, and in which right after we have the Durga, main Durga, we have of course Durga Puja, we have the Hindu New Year, Diwali. Now some accounts say that her number is 18. Durga also provides food, like Annapurna. And if you're interested in Annapurna, I did a video on her too. She represents food for our spirit and our mind, but also for our body. Here we have the 3 goddesses that are said to make up Durga: Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Kali. Or also they say the Mahadevi, where you bring, if you go to the Divya Dham in Queens, New York, if you're in New York, it's in Queens, look it up, Divya Dham. They have there's a cave part, and you go inside, and they have Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, and Mahakali, with all together make up the Mahadevi, Mahashakti, the Adi Shakti. Now, Durga is also seen with, you see her, and I don't have the picture here, I'm so sorry. She's seen humongous, and she's with her 4 children, and they're smaller towards her. Like, she's like this, but it'd be like her children would be this size towards her, okay? That would be the difference between sizes, and she'll be with her daughters, Lakshmi and Saraswati, and her 2 sons, Kartikeya and Ganesha. Durga does not give birth like the way a mother does. In fact, these children, like even Parvati, does not give birth in a conventional way. Either they're in different wombs, or she makes one of her, like her son Ganesha, out of the paste or dirt that's on her body, and there's different, either they say that it's just from her dirt, or paste that's on her, and she forms a child. But it's not the way like we give birth, because it represents symbolically that it's not 100% domesticated, that there's some wildness about her. It's a whole big thing that I don't want to go into, because I want to try to stay on Durga. This is okay. So hopefully I have enough time to talk about everything. Durga comes manifest. She manifested a blindingly beautiful goddess, and there are so many stories about her battles, and I don't know if I can get into all that, but because I want to get into more important things. I mean, it's very important, of course. So, okay, so if you really look at Durga, she was originally a ferocious tribal spirit. This was pre-Vedic. Pre-Vedic. That was later on incorporated into the Hindu pantheon. So she's actually a very ancient goddess. It's said just with her sigh that she created all things. With our smile, she could just create all things. That she liberates one from suffering. Durga is also deal with, and a lot of people don't realize this, agriculture. That she deals with she's an agricultural deity. That she deals with the sowing and harvest. That she originally dealt with crops, and that she was worshipped for that. And later on, somehow, she goes beyond that, but there's still a remembrance of her being an agricultural deity. And if you don't have to take my word for it, look it up. So she was worshipped, and in some temples she's still given meat and blood, sacrifices. But as a Vaishnavi deity, like if you go into Divyadam, she's not given any sacrifices. They do not sacrifice, they do not offer life. I remember discussing this with the Punjaris there, and I said, yeah, but some temples do it, but they see it that she does not accept offering of life. So there are different traditions in Hinduism. Hinduism is just an umbrella term for Sanatana Dharma, which means the eternal truth. Then the goddess Durga will protect Dharma. She will protect law and order and Dharma. She is your goddess of law and order. She is, in some beliefs, that she is the manifestation of Mahadevi herself. That she is the great power. Those that defy her are dealt with, quickly dispatched. So, gosh, there's so much I want to talk about her, but I don't want to go over like an hour and a half because I know people are just going to turn off the video. When I used to do my presentations, I could talk for up to almost 4 hours or so, but I'm not going to do a video for 4 hours. I'm just not doing it. So turmeric is also sacred to her. She is said her skin is to be the color of turmeric. Her face has turmeric on it. Turmeric is offered to her. Turmeric is the yellow powder that makes curry yellow. It's good for the mind. They say that they did studies on it, that it helped, that it's not going to totally prevent it, but it lowers the chance of getting Alzheimer's. It's also antiseptic. So we have that. So turmeric is a good offering to her. So we have the Nav Durga in order, is the first, and each day during the Nav Durgas, they will do this in order. They have Shail Putri, and let me see, Shail Putri. She is the one that also sits on a bull. You'll see two of them here. 1, 2, 3. So you will have Shail Putri. The second day is dedicated to Brahmacharini. Listen, look at the name Brahma. She is, and Charini, she is the goddess who is the brilliant student, but she's also creatress. Brahma is the creator. And she's the one that holds a rosary and sometimes a pot, a water pot. That would be her here. So we have Brahmacharini. Now the third day of Nav Durga, we have Chandra Ganta. She's also called Chandra Ganteti. She also sits on a lion. Then the fourth day, we have Kushmanda, who sits on a lion as well. But each one will hold different weapons. So the fifth day is Skanda Mata, or she is the mother of war, but also the mother of Skanda. And one day I'm going to do something on Skanda, who deals with war, and he deals with art and beauty and pride. And Skanda, of course, is the chief of the army of the gods and brother to Ganesha. He's the one that who rides the peacock. But Skanda Manta is Katayani. Now sometimes there's replaced that, you gotta understand, sometimes the lion is replaced with the tiger. So Katayani, as I said she was the one that came out of the anger of the gods to defeat the evil and to restore Dharma. The seventh is Kalaratri, and Kalratri or Kalaratri, either one is correct, which means, Ratri means the night, the darkness. And Kala is time. She is the dark night of destruction. She's ferocious. She rides a donkey. And like Kali, her skin is black and her hair is long and really wild and scattered all over. She's the one that she wears shining like beads and garlands that are like rays of light. Her three eyes are like round like the universe, and from her literally from her nostrils, flames come out and electricity are in her eyes, like Oya, dealing with electricity. She's pretty ferocious. She's a destroyer, but she also protects. And she there's also the eighth one is Mahaguri, who's very peaceful and very young. Then the final night, the ninth one, is Siddharthi. Siddhatri. And she's a goddess of all accomplishments and supernatural powers and occult powers and magic. She is the goddess of yogis and tantrics and rishis, the saints. She blesses her devotees with glory. So those are her 9 aspects. Okay, why is coconuts offered to her? Because people used to go up to Devi and as an ultimate sacrifice would cut their own head off. And there was a story about a man who wanted to please a saint. That he actually became like a saint, and he wanted to please Durga. And he was going to cut his head off because of all the trouble that he was having, and that he wanted to prove his faith. And the goddess said, do not cut your head off, to offer a coconut. And that the coconut is supposed to represent the head of the devotee. So some people like to make a mock cutting of their neck, like just pretend, but be careful, please. Just so you can make a symbolic, like take your finger and just go against your neck. If you want, some people do that, and put the coconut there and give her coconuts to replace your head. So what are the things you can offer her? It depends. What path are you on? Are you in a Vaishnavi? Then you wouldn't definitely offer meat. If you're not, you can offer her meat. I wouldn't offer beef. You know, some people give her chicken. I know buffalo in India is sacrificed. So you can give her bison meat. I mean, make her a nice bison steak. You can give it to her raw. You can make her a bison burger. I mean, these are just some ideas. Just throwing out some ideas. Her flowers, which are lotus. You can give her roses. You can give her marigolds, hibiscus, turmeric. Give her turmeric and wood. You can give her, which is called haldi. You can give her turmeric in a jar. Excuse me, I'm so thirsty. You give her fruits. I've seen a lot of different types of fruits. I've seen people in the Divya Dham offer bags of dried fruit with nuts, mixed nuts, and like trail mix. You could give her fresh fruit. Any fruit that appeases you, that you like to give her. Apples. I've seen apples. I've seen people give her oranges in the temple. I've seen like literally people just offering it. Incense, sweets, chocolates. She loves candy. Milk, yogurt, plain yogurt. You can give her flavored yogurt if you feel so inclined. Milks, creams, coconuts, as I said before. Give her fresh water. Some people like to give her wine. But if you're not into the alcoholic drinks, give her grape juice. Some people give her grains. So those are just some of the offerings you can give her. And she takes a lot of different offerings. I mean, what do you got that you want to give her? And so, ghee candles. Some people give her literally butter, all types of cream, gold, jewelry. Other offerings that you can do to her, for her, that make her happy, is to be kind to little girls, to protect them, And to also another way is to teach them self-defense, teach them to respect themselves, educate them that we are more than just women that have men's babies and to sit there all day and clean the house and cook a dinner for a man. To teach them to be self-sufficient, to have a mind of their own. Okay? Yes, protect them, also shelter them, but also teach them, and let them also teach them how to defend themselves. She's strength. Another way is she loves the feline family. So being kind and feeding domestic cats to protecting our big cats, especially tigers and lions. But also to be kind to all animals and to feed them. Another service that you do is to feed the poor, be they men or women. Those are some of the services that you can do. She has many different weapons and she has many different implements that are used for different ways and different things. So her conch, the conch represents Om, the sound, that of creation. But the conch is also used as a weapon where she can scare all the evil away. But any place where if you put water in the conch, it's used to bless the place. Her sword is that of discrimination, non-dual wisdom and truth. And we're not talking about discrimination against discriminating against people. We're not talking about that type of discrimination. Get that out of your head. It's perception and scrutiny. But it's also used for enlightenment and purification and to bring peace and freedom. It is also, as we know, a symbol for war and fight, and she can use that to destroy her enemies. Another thing is her bow. We look at her discus. The discus is Surya's thing, also Vishnu. It depends, because sometimes it's a weapon of Surya as well as Vishnu, and it represents a chakra, but it also represents solar. And we see that, and I'm just giving you a rundown of this. So there's so much to be looked at with this. So chakra also represents the disc, as you see over here. I'm sorry. You'll see it more over there. You see what she's holding, that flat thing right there? That represents perfection, totality. It's omniscience. She can use that as a weapon to cut through everything. And it also represents that she can balance our chakras. The mala, the rosary that sometimes she holds, the mala, which is called rosary, is faith. It's prayer. It's what used for remembrance, love and devotion, concentration, as well as enlightenment and spiritual growth and transformation. The bell is used to clear out negativity. I use it for banishing. But for banishing, clearing out negativity, is that of pure sound. It's clarity and realization of truth. It can attract and banish, repulse things. So the bell is you also use as a weapon against evil and negativity. So she has a cup, a wine cup, a grail, and that represents divinity. And what she drinks ambrosia, which she uses to reinvigorate herself. And it also represents fulfillment. And the drink of immortality. So we have the sacred drink, the grail, the shield, depending. It represents, if she's holding a shield, she can use that. Sometimes it's said because her weapons, she uses shield for her own protection, but also if we really go into it's to shield us out of, it's a symbol of concern, but it's also to protect us. It's a place of refuge. So she preserves us with the shield. She shields us spiritually and physically. The bow and arrow, the bow would represent concentration and projection. So, and the arrow is penetration, omniscience. It represents meticulousness. So the spear is that of courage and light and wisdom and penetration. So when you look at the trident, the 3 points, that it's called different things, but people in the West will know it as trident. It represents Shiva's weapon, the past, present, and future, but it's a great weapon. It represents the Trinity. We see Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, but also Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali. So the trident also represents courage. Now, sometimes she is holding a lotus. And the lotus is detachment, but also the lotus can grow in filth and remain pure and clean. So it represents spirituality, the mother, beauty, prettiness. It represents the lap of the mother. Sometimes she is seen with the club. That is the weapon of Brahma, the Brahmastra. It can represent loyalty and love, but also she can smash and destroy, sort of like Thor's Mjolnir. She holds her hand up like this. And when she holds her hand, it represents blessings. Here we have it right here. See her hand? It represents, well, actually that's a little bit different. That's more of a boon gesturing. Sorry, when she holds her hand up like this, it's forgiveness. It's blessing. When she holds her hand down like this, it's boon granting. It's giving of gifts, answering of prayers. So when she holds her hand up, it's fear not. Do not fear. I got this. I got you. Don't worry. Stop worrying. So when she wears red, and she's seen in red, it represents passion, action. It represents power, movement. So there's so much meaning, and each deity, when they called her, gave her a weapon. So it's attributed to different deities. And here we see the hook, the gold. She can cut. You see that right there? Or she can bring us. She can goad us. Or she can use to literally cut. And sometimes she is, you see how she is crowned? And this is actually, there's different meaning to the crowns, but I'm already going past my hour. But I thought this would be very interesting to bring those up. So what else do I want to talk about? Her. Now, I know this is a difficult subject, but there's sometimes when she's worshipped as an agricultural deity, there's sometimes there is sex in the field, so to appease her. That's not always done. But don't shoot the messenger. She is a goddess that will give us strength and courage. She can help release our old emotional pains, our old traumas. So if you're dealing with that, if you're dealing with trauma releasing and letting go, she helps us to let go. To just let go. And to let go of any beliefs, toxic tapes, and help us get over situations that will no longer serve us. So things and people, places, and things that are no longer good for us, she helps us. She helps us purge them. She helps us purge them. Sometimes she also holds a thunderbolt. The thunderbolt is the power of Indra. The lightning bolt, which is electrical, which is the same thing that Zeus, or Zeus as we call him in the West, but Zeus uses, that she can strike down, that she can. So sometimes she actually holds a lightning bolt. Sorry, guys. So I don't have a script. So just bear with me. I don't have my cats here. Where are my cats? You lazy bums. You're derelict in duties. Oh, here she comes. She didn't like that. Lady Boss, shame on you. You're derelict in duties. Come here. Oh, God. Lady Boss. She went for food. You lazy cat. I thought she was coming out when I said you're derelict in duty. You hear her? Munching? You can also give her kumkum powder, which is like a red powder. Some people give her vermilion. Forgot about that. You can give her vermilion. So, for other sacred spaces to her are forest groves. I am going past my hour and 9 minutes now. She helps you to believe in yourself, because when I was going to do this video, I was very nervous. I was feeling maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I just feel like I was not enough. But she clears that up and she says, yes, you do know enough about me, and yes, you are good enough. You are enough. And she really helps you with that. She can help you to realize that you are more than what you think you are. And to believe in yourself. She helps you with having faith in yourself. That faith in yourself. She's the one when in India, in parts of India and Hinduism, during the Nav Durgas, they invite the goddess in as their daughter. Even though she is mother, they also take care of her like they were a daughter, like she was a daughter, and they're so happy that she comes. And at the end of the puja, they bring her image to the river or to a body of water, and they dissolve the image to let her go back. So tears of joy when she comes, and tears of sadness when she leaves. She teaches us that every ending is a beginning, and every beginning is also an ending. That nothing is forever, and yet things come back into a cycle. So, other things about her, I'm not sure what else to talk about her. I mean, there's a lot to talk about her, but I know I went over an hour and 12 minutes. And here we finally, Lady Boss comes at the end. Hello, girl. Where have you been?
I've been sleeping. I'm a cat. I do what I want, and I'm pretty. And I'm a star.
Yes, she is. And you know you are. You're a star and you know you are. So there's so much to learn about the goddess Durga. Please do that. Please get those books. Learn about her. For women, she's very approachable for you. Some men too, but also she is very loved by women. She'll protect women, and she teaches women to be strong. So there's so much to learn about her. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate this. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If not, then give me a thumbs down. If you like, please subscribe to my channel, because that helps my channel grow. Give me a like to let me know I'm doing a good job. I love the comments. Keep them coming. I will answer them as soon as possible, or at least, respond to it. When they're just liking your comment or putting a little heart next to it. Share my video with your friends and family and on your social media. Also, if you really like this video, I don't want your money. I don't have a Patreon. Give it to a cat rescue group, like Beyond 9 Cat Rescue. Also, there is the Big Cat Sanctuary in Tampa, Florida. You could give that to. Give it to any cat rescue. So give your money there instead of me. Be good to children, whether they're boys or girls. If they're in danger, please call the police, or please call CPS or Child Protective Services, which is child welfare. And I know in Hinduism and India that people are said to feed young girls, because sometimes Durga comes as a young girl, that she comes as a little girl. So to appease her, they do that. So also think about giving some clothing, towels, or toiletries to a woman's shelter, because some of these women are escaping really bad situations with their children, and all they have are the clothes on their back. So you might want to give, toys to these children. Also think about Toys for Tots, and also think about giving to Make-A-Wish Foundation, St. Jude's Hospital, or Shriners Hospital that helps children. So help those kids in distress. Help those kids with Make-A-Wish to make those kids happy, because they're fighting a bad illness, and they may or may not make it. So at least you can make some dream come true. So be good to yourselves. Take care of yourself and each other. Love each other. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, blessed be.